So we're going to be talking about cell division, and we'll start with single-celled eukaryotes. This part will take about a half a second. So with single-celled eukaryotes, when they want to reproduce, they just do mitosis. There's really not much to it. By the way, what is a single-celled eukaryote? That's a protist, like a euglena or an amoeba, that kind of thing. So when they reproduce, all they do is divide by mitosis. So single-celled eukaryotes do mitosis, a type of cell division, whenever they need to reproduce. And we're almost ready to talk about mitosis. We're almost there. Your cells do mitosis in order to do cell division too. But when you reproduce, when you make a baby, you have to do meiosis. Whereas these folks can just do mitosis, and then they're two cells and they're done. Yay, I told you it was short and sweet. Section 5, when do multicelled organisms do cell division? So we are almost ready to talk about mitosis, but first we have to talk about why we would do it. So remember, all multicelled organisms are eukaryotic. So when do multicelled organisms do cell division? There are a few different things. So there are two different types of cell division, mitosis and meiosis. And we're going to talk a little bit about when they do mitosis, and then we'll talk about when they do meiosis. So, what a cute little owl, huh? Oh, look at that. Way ahead of myself. Mitosis and meiosis. So mitosis is asexual. Remember, when you put an A in front of something, it means not. So apolitical would be someone who doesn't care about what's happening politically. Abiotic would be a non-living thing. Asexual is something that's not reproducing sexually. So just regular cell division, like in your skin, for example. So that occurs in something called somatic cells, which are body cells. And we're about to do mitosis in this unit, and then we'll have a quiz on that, and then we'll do meiosis. So new vocabulary word for you. Somatic means body cells. So your skin cells are somatic cells. So are your liver cells and your kidney cells and your blood cells and your brain cells and your bone cells and every other cell in your body except egg or sperm cells. Okay, meiosis. This is sexual. So this makes gametes, and that's another vocab word for you if you don't know that one. Gametes are egg and sperm, and we'll cover this in the next unit. Okay, so when do multicelled organisms do mitosis? There are a few reasons. One is growth. So you start out little. Oh, aren't those the cutest babies ever? And you get big. Aw, cute kids. So they grow and they grow. That's what kids do. Another is tissue repair. I'm not sure if this one will work. We'll try it anyway. So this kid is about to wipe out, not the big guy there. Here's the poor little kid who's about to wipe out, and he's going to have to, oh, poor kid. He's going to have to do mitosis to repair that skin that just got damaged and probably repair some internal bleeding too. So that's what mitosis is for. There are also some types of asexual reproduction that you don't do, but some multicelled organisms do. So for example, budding. Just kidding. Here's really an organism that does do budding though. This is called Hydra. And this is the organism, and here's its bud. And so this is a type of primitive animal, and it will bud a new little hydra off of it, and then this thing will break off, and you'll get a new hydra that's exactly identical to this one. It's exactly the same as this one. So it's not like sexual reproduction where you form babies that are sort of like you and your spouse. This is going to be asexual reproduction, and this thing looks, and genetically is exactly the same as this one. And then fragmentation or regeneration. These are flatworms that are just the coolest things ever. If you cut them, they'll grow back. So I got some pictures of some that were cut partially, and they did a cool job with them. They cut it down the middle. So these things are supposed to look like this. They're really the funkiest little flatworms ever. They have eye spots here, which are sensitive to light. And so like for this one, they just put a little cut in here and a little cut at the end, and they grew back. With this one, they cut it down a little further here, and it grew back 2 heads. How cool is that? So lots of organisms can do this, like a starfish, for example. If you cut a starfish in half, it'll do the same thing. Your cells do it a little bit, like your liver cells. If they're damaged, you can grow back liver cells. Your skin cells can regenerate as well, at least if you have enough to regenerate from. So the parent breaks into pieces that each become a new organism. Well, we don't do that, but you can regenerate parts of you. And actually, a worm like this, if you cut it all the way in half, you will end up getting two completely, whoops, wow, that was an ugly worm. You'll end up getting two worms that pretend I drew them right that are identical to each other. Another type of asexual reproduction happens in plants. So a lot of times a plant will send off a runner, and then that will grow roots. And if this is all one plant now, but if this gets cut and that gets cut and that gets cut, you'll have four individual plants. Quiz time. What is a normal body cell called? So tricky because you know autosome and you know somatic both have to do with non-sexual things, versus sex chromosome and gamete have to do with sexual things. So the body cell is called a somatic cell, whereas the autosome is a chromosome. What is an egg or sperm cell called? That's a gamete. As always with this, you should pause and figure out what the answer is before I give it to you. When do humans do mitosis? So let's look at these. Growth, yes. Tissue repair, yes. Budding, no. Some organisms use mitosis to do budding, but not us. Regeneration depends on how you define it. So to regenerate skin or something, I would say yes. Didn't like that one, did it? But not to regenerate the whole body. Asexual reproduction, no, because we don't do asexual reproduction. To make eggs and sperm, nope, that's meiosis. When do humans do meiosis? Just the last one, to make eggs and sperm. What does mitosis produce? Eggs and sperm or identical cells? Mitosis, think of this. Your toe, those are really ugly toes. Hopefully your foot is better looking than that. Okay, so mitosis happens in your toe, not in your egg, not in your ovaries or testes. Okay, so mitosis is in the toes and all the other parts of the body that aren't testes or ovaries. So they produce identical cells. Meiosis, ovary, does that help? I don't know. Anyway, what does meiosis produce? It produces eggs and sperm. Okay, so section 6, the cell cycle. I think I will stop this and do that separately.